What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we're going to be going over all of the things I wish I did to my GTI the first time. So I have a list of things that I wrote down, and I'm going to be explaining / telling you guys if you are just buying your Mark 7.5 GTI or your Golf R for the first time. This is, in my opinion, the proper way to mod it, maintain it, whatever it is. This is if you are a car enthusiast, this should be your checklist. First up on the list, maintenance. I know a lot of you guys hate maintenance and you hate doing it and you hate buying it, buying all the stuff for it because it's not fun, it's not blah blah blah. I don't care. Maintenance is the number one most important things on these cars. Also service records. I'm tying that in with maintenance. Maintenance and service records are the most important things on your cars because if you get a Mark 7.5 GTI or R that's higher kilometers and you have zero background information, zero history, zero service records, zero maintenance records on your car, I promise you, you're probably going to hate your life. It will probably be the most lemon Volkswagen you will ever own, the most problematic Volkswagen you will ever own. You're going to hate your life if you get a car with no service records. So my number one thing, when you're looking to buy one or you're researching, look at all the main issues with the car. And I'm here to tell you some of them. Water pump, thermostat housing, oil filter housing leaks, valve cover leaks, blow by. If it's manual, see if the transmission has been, the clutch has been replaced or not. If it's DSG, see if it's had its DSG services done or not. Sunroof leaks. That's pretty much it. Everything else is kind of normal wear and tear on your car, like bushings, like suspension, blah, blah, blah. Also, Volkswagens are notoriously bad for rust, so that is also something you want to check out when you're looking at the car at the dealership. If you purchase that car and the records are good and the maintenance looks good, do all the maintenance right away. Because I promise you at some point, you're going to be modding the car for fun, and then one of those maintenance things that you should have done when you bought the car is going to go, and then now you can't drive your fun car, and now you're way more upset that you can't drive your fun car rather than just spending the money at the beginning when you just bought the car to fix it. Do all your maintenance right away. First thing, don't even order your intake yet. All your maintenance now. And if you're planning on tuning it, switch off that OW20, go to 5W40, it's better viscosity, and you're going to burn a little less. Matter of fact, you shouldn't burn any oil at all. If you're burning oil at all, either your tune is shit, you're using the incorrect oil and it's too thin. Next up is going to be do your supporting mods first or at the same time as when you do performance mods. So I'm going to put you guys on some game. These are for your Mark 7.5 GTI, Mark 7.5R. These are the supporting mods you need, honestly, just for anything modding. Because if you push more power without putting more investment into supporting, something is going to go wrong eventually. So I'd rather nothing go wrong at all and just buy the supporting mods. So list of supporting mods. Number one, your turbo inlet. That shit is plastic. That shit's going to crack if you push more power. It's just going to happen. Replace it with an aluminum. I think it's aluminum or steel. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. Don't hold me to it. Spark plugs. Change those because the stock ones is not meant to be for the tuned version of the car. I'm pretty sure for tuned cars, brisk ER12s is the go-to, and big turbo cars, I think it's ER10s because they're a little colder. This is a big one. Your intercooler. You can either go with a front mount intercooler setup or you can go with the stock location intercooler setup. I went with the stock location upgraded setup just because that's what was good for me, and I think it's kind of tomato when it comes to doing the front mount or the stock location. You can do a bi-cooler, you can do both, but I don't really think it matters that much. I don't know why you would do both when you can just do one, or if later down the road you want to do two, it's easier to do two. And then next thing, oil changes. Every 5K kilometers or 3,000 miles. If you're cheaping out on things that are cheap compared to fixing a transmission or fixing a engine, I promise you smaller oil intervals will give you a better peace of mind because you're checking it all the time. You're checking no oil, you're checking nothing wrong, you're checking the amount that you're letting out is similar to what you put in. You're not burning anything. Your filter's okay. You're not leaking. Whatever it is. Smaller oil change intervals. Key. If you're DSG, smaller DSG service intervals. When you're pushing power or you're tuning at all of your intervals, if you're, okay, the stock car, let's say DSG service, I think it's like every 60K you do it. My DSG, it's tuned. So I'm going to cut that in half. So I just did mine, I think at like 60K kilometers, which for a stock car, my next one would be 120. But since it's tuned, and it's obviously like it's not pushing the stock power, the stuff's gonna wear a little quicker. I want to check on the oil, make sure nothing's happening. Or not the oil, sorry. The fluid that's inside the transmission. Every 30K, every 25K. Honestly, that's one of those things where it's kind of tomato again. I just cut it in half because that's what I do when my car is tuned. All of the service intervals that it says on the website, I cut everything in half. Just for peace of mind. You don't have to do that. That's just the way I do it. The next one, supporting performance mods. These are things that will help you put your power down or make your power usable. And for GTRs, this is kind of not your subject because you're all-wheel drive. You can put the power down whenever, unless you're a really big turbo and then you're going to spin, but you're still all-wheel drive, so it doesn't even matter. But for GTIs, this is kind of the key. Really sticky, good treadwear tires, like really sticky. If your GTI is a base model and you don't have the LSD, get an LSD. It helps a little bit. No more one wheel peels. We're gonna burn both at the same time. Any sort of suspension mod that stiffens it, so whether it's lowering springs, which I don't recommend, but coilovers will help the car stiffen. As you're doing your launch control, I don't recommend doing your launch control in your GTI. You're just gonna spin your tires. Rolling speed. This is gonna be your tires. Instead of hopping up and down while you're trying to do it, which is really bad wheel hop, and that's not good. You can break something. It'll kind of lay, like, you know when you see really fast cars on the highway and they're like a rolling burnout? That's kind of the idea you're going for. You want to be able to put the power down evenly. I've noticed it with my car after hitting 100% throttle at low speeds, the coilovers when I have the stiffness turned up, it definitely makes a difference because the car will want to keep the power down instead of jumping. That's what I experienced with stock suspension. The car likes to jump around a bit in the wheel well. I don't like that. Coilovers help a little bit. What also helps, we have a dog bone mount and insert underneath the car. Relatively simply easy to put on, I believe. I haven't done it myself. That's one of the things I want to do this year that will help the car put the power down. So the dog bone mount insert, it's this little U piece, looks like a little U piece. It's made of polyurethane, I believe. And you just insert it and then boom, done. So what it does is that your dog bone is kind of like this, right? It sits in that little circle thing if you ever looked underneath the car. Putting the insert in it, it kind of like around it, instead of it hitting that little metal piece, it's going to hit the insert. It'll be able to kind of like stiffen up in the insert, if that makes sense. You can get the dog bone mount itself, the physical arm, to be stiffer. I haven't done this. I've heard with some people this really, really helps. This almost makes it like a true LSD, where you won't get any wheel hop. You won't get that little metal tink sound of your dog bone hitting the metal, which I've experienced before. Not a fun sound. It makes it sound like something's broken. But yeah, dog bone mount plus insert plus coilovers and sticky tires is without a doubt like the best setup you can do for your GTI to put the power down. Now for the next thing, number 4, and probably the most important thing on this list. Now, luckily for myself, I found out about this very, very early in my modding journey with the GTI. Getting a good tuner. The best tuners for this platform use open source tuning. Open source tuning is like the equivalent of Honda Civic with a laptop. All the little charts, all the little adjustments, all the little differences in pressure, fueling, timing, boost ramp, traction control. The most in-depth tuning you can get for these cars is open source. I have a question for you guys. On this hand, we have OTS tuners, and on this hand, we have open source tuners. OTS, not very many revisions, kind of a one and done kind of thing. You're dealing with a very large company, and some people might think this is good, but very large company means a lot of tuned cars and also more issues because of said tuned cars. And a lot of people blame the tuner, the OTS tuner, when majority of the time it's user error, meaning they send you a file. Do you really think it's a good idea to, on your first revision of your newly tuned car, to go beat the living piss out of it? No, because 99% of the time they're going to say, hey, do a log in third gear from 3K all the way till red line. That's it, just once. Why are you going to do top speed runs and racing with your freshly tuned car when you're on your first revision? Stupid idea. And also the customization for OTS tuners, not the greatest. Yes, you can pay a little more for the custom tune. If you're getting charged for each revision, in my opinion, that's kind of a scam. On the other side over here, the better side, the other side of the white picket fence, open source or custom tuning. Now for this is the equivalent of Honda Civic with a laptop or dyno tuning, street tuning. Your car will run 100, I won't even say 100, 1,000 times better on an open source or a custom tune because the tune is tailored to your car. The boost ramp is made to be your car. The traction control is custom to your car. The timing is custom to your car. The PSI is custom to your car. The air to fuel ratios is custom to your car. Every single piece of the tune is custom to your car, not just picked off a shelf and flashed to your car. Everything is custom, which in my opinion, which means I can see every piece of my tune and I can see what's wrong with my tune. If I'm getting knock average, if I'm pulling too much timing, if my fueling is off, if my PSI is off, if I'm getting boost leaks. All of these things can be checked on your custom tuning. But with your COP access port, you're just sending it off to the company. Here's my log. It feels funky. You have no idea what you're looking at. They're like, oh yeah, here's another fix. And then now you have another issue. And then you send them a log. And then you get it back. And then it's another issue. I don't know. OTS tuners for this platform kind of just sketch me out. I didn't really like the idea of waiting that long in between. Lucky enough to find someone who dyno tuned my car and street tuned my car. And in my opinion and my experience, my custom tuned car and is quicker, more reliable than OTS tuned cars. Mark 7.5 GTI to Mark 7.5 GTI. And if that isn't proof in the pudding, I don't know what is. So that's going to be it for today's YouTube video, guys. I hope I put you guys on some game, helped you with your mod journey, helped you make some right decisions with modding your GTI, or even just picking one up or not picking one up, because to be honest, either you're gonna hate your life when you own a Volkswagen or you're gonna love it. But yeah, that'll be it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to spam the comments, likes, subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Help your boy get out to 1,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to get there within the next month or so. So yeah, help your boy out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Drive safe. Peace out.